It is awfully bright up here, they are correct. So I'll feel like I'm talking to myself. This is more of a, I don't know, public service announcement than a story. A few years ago, I had gone to the bathroom and did the wipe and felt a little bump. Yeah, not a big deal. Not a big deal. But it kept getting bigger over time. And my husband had died 3 years before, and I hadn't had sex, but I'm like, what the hell is growing down here? So I said to my friend Kristen, should I see a doctor about this? And she said, yeah, you should see someone immediately. So I went to, and as Laura said, I live in Halstead, it's tiny, and the doctors come over to the clinic in Halstead from Hillsborough, and I know them very well. I teach high school, and when I was pregnant with my first child, the doctor came to the school to my child development class and did the whole heartbeat of the baby thing so the class could hear. So, you know, we're pretty tight with the doctor. So I said to Dr. Luthley, got something going on down here, and he goes, yeah, you do. You do. He said it's not a big deal. It's called a Bartholin cyst. A lot of people have them, which it turns out they do. Many of my friends they're like, oh yeah, I just squeezed mine and it popped. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I can't see it. I don't know kitchen tongs. So the doctor had to lance it, and by this time, like, it was not tiny anymore. I let it go for a long time because I really wasn't sure what was happening because it had been a long time since I'd been in with anyone, and I'm like, ugh. So I go in, and he did that too. He went, ugh, lanced it, and it was quite painful, lancing, and a lot of squeezing and a lot of pus, and calls in, you know, another nurse. We're going to need another vessel to catch the shit in. And he's trying to be cool, and I'm like, God damn it, that hurts. And so he's like, you know, nurse, you know, her daughter's my student. We're gonna need her to come back, and this is an awful lot of pus, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, can you not say pus in reference to my vagina ever again in my presence? So they get it all cleaned up, and he's like, we'll give you antibiotics and hope for the best. So a few months pass, and it comes back. I'm like, fuck, there it is again. And it's feels like a tiny lump, but apparently it's not as tiny as I think it is. So I go back in, and this time they have to put in a catheter. I think it's called a marsupialization. I don't know where they get that name because it's a gland that's responsible for keeping the vagina moist. Yay! And it was plugged up tighter than tight. So they cut it open, and they put this catheter in the gland, but it's kind of on the outside. So I'm like this, and I have to sit on a donut. I didn't let the child development class see this. So it's not comfortable at all because it's hanging out, and it was horrible. So, well, you're gonna need that to wear that, have that in there for up to 6 weeks. Fuck, no, that's not happening. So after actually about 4 or 5 days, probably because I did this a lot to my friends, oh my God, look at that. It just fell out. But it seemed fine to me. So a year passes, and it comes back. And it came back with a vengeance. DS, you should have kept that marsupialization in there. So it's on Friday, July 3rd that I feel it. And I call immediately because I know it's going to go bad really fast. So I call Dr. Luthley again, and he said, well, I can lance it for you, but you're probably going to have to see a gynecologist. Okay. So I go in, he lances it. I'm in the stirrups with the sheet, and he pops his little head over, his little bald head over the sheet. What are you doing Monday? Are you asking me out for lunch? Because this is awkward. But he said, no, I'm going to have to lance that again on Monday. It's bad. Typically, they don't get very big. By Monday, it was softball size. So it was a shitty 4th of July. So he calls the gynecologist who can't get me in till August 11th. So I'm taking antibiotics like Tic Tacs and going to see Dr. Luthley, opening it all up for him so he can keep cutting it open. So the gynecologist was like, holy shit, not kidding. I don't know who your gynecologist is, but if it's Jordan Coette, that you know she would go, holy shit. You have to have surgery immediately. So literally like 2 days later, she removes this cyst. I wake up, she's like, you grossed out the entire OR. Again, don't talk about my vagina like that. So, anyway, she fixed it up, no problem since. All good, nice and moist like it should be. And I'm gonna guess, if you got with me, it would feel like the first time.